It's the real Gil, guys, and I'm moving in. I'm making my way into the new digs, and I've got a lot of stuff everywhere. I got some sound equipment over there, some guitars, bookshelves, a few TVs, and some candy left over from Halloween. But so I'm going to talk to you today about setting up to do your own in-the-wall system. I'm going to be doing a home theater setup, and the home theater setup is going to consist of a patch panel that's going to have pretty much these modules in it. So this is my my front left and everything for that. So it'll go over here, and then this other panel will go over there, and then this HDMI panel will go in the middle. And it'll look something kind of like that when it's in the wall. And what you'll do is you'll plug, all your speakers in, and then your HDMI. The HDMI is going to go through the wall. I already kind of cut that out, through the wall, and it's going to go up and all the way over, and it's going to actually go in that corner kind of over there above the corner of the curtains, where there's going to be a projector. So I'm going to describe how to take care of this. I'm going to turn on the light. So you can see, maybe you can't, but you can see it's kind of dark in there. I've got a box in the bedroom, a gang box, that is for coaxial cable. I'm probably not going to be using that because I'm not going to have any type of coax cable like that. I'm probably not going to get direct TV or anything like that. If anything, I'm going to get U-verse, and if need be, I'll rerun that. So that's the back wall of the master bedroom. And you want to be careful. You can see I drew out a few things. There's a stud right here. I used a stud finder to find the stud on the wall. Stud finders are fairly cheap. You can buy one at Lowe's for about $7 or $8. I recommend getting a pretty good one because you're going to be using it a lot. You're going to be doing a lot with it. And okay, so we've got this hole. This hole is going to be where we put. I just bought it at Lowe's. We're going to put a 3-way low voltage gang box, and that's not it. This is it. So we're going to put that in that hole. We're going to obviously have to make the hole bigger, but I will catch back up with y'all whenever I've done that. Alright, so yeah, the gang plate's in place. I actually had to make the hole a little bit wider, and unfortunately I had to take out a portion of this. Now, because there's nothing really run to this is just a blank panel on the other side, and you can kind of see that it's just kind of nothing's in there. It wasn't really that big of a deal that I destroyed this box, but you wouldn't want to do this if it was like power or whatever. It gets a little messy, it gets a little dangerous, and again, if I wanted to ever run anything in that box other than something low voltage where I really just needed the box for mounting, I would want to replace that box so that everything's up to code. So I did have to make this a little bit bigger though, because this up here, this mounting piece would not fit because of the box. Now I could have moved over, but I had already cut, so I made the best of a bad situation. Something I didn't say is while I'm gonna do this 3-panel bit right here, this 3 gang plane, whatever, gang box setup, I'm also gonna do a single gang box setup for my outdoor speakers. So I'm gonna have my my Pioneer, which is right over there covered with home decor. I'm going to have that feeding the surround sound, which I'll be hanging up in the corners and in the rear over there and over there. But I also want it to have a stereo output to the speakers that I'm going to mount outdoor. And again, I'll show you a video on when I do that. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put this right next to it. And thankfully, this is actually a 3-part system. You've got the faceplate, which is just like this, except it's one. And then you've got the terminals. These are banana plug terminals, but on the back it's really neat because you can have bare wire on the back. So if you want to spend your money on the banana plugs for the front, that's fine. You don't have to double up. But you could if you want to make it easy on yourself. I'm probably not going to. I'm probably just going to run it normally. And then you've got a single gang low voltage box from Carlin. I bought this. This was like $2 or $3 at Lowe's. They offer these little plugs or these little holes on the sides and the corners. So the idea is that you put it up on the wall and you kind of like trace where it's going to go. Now, something to be aware of, whenever you put the faceplate on this, it's going to extend a little bit. So if I turn it over and fit it perfectly, there's a little, and you can hear it snap into place kind of, there's a little bit of overlap. That overlap could be critical, especially whenever you consider that this is also going to have the same overlap. So whenever I put this on, it's going to have, you know, a significant amount of overlap. In fact, it's going to be almost perfect to where my drawing was. So I can go ahead and use the penciled in part as the drawing for that. So when I put this up, I can go ahead and figure out the overlap, calculate that, draw that out, so that both face plates meet a little bit. Now, because you're screwing this in to the gang plank, or to the gang boxes, the low voltage mounting hardware, you're not going to really have to worry about it being super exact, because you're going to have a little bit of wiggle room on both boxes, so it may be fine. Also, I'm getting pretty close to this power receptacle, and normally I'd want to watch out for that. So what I might do is I might actually come and drop it down here. I'm actually liking the idea of that a lot more now that I think about it. Now, the one thing that you could watch out for is that there's very little drywall between here and there. But you'd run into the same problem up here, really anywhere. Now, you don't want to go over here because there's a stud right there. Plus, it's next to my nice Cat 6 box. So I want to run all the wires here. I'm probably just going to want to mount it, maybe even in the middle. That doesn't seem that bad of an idea. So yeah, I'll make a decision, I'll draw it out, and I will catch back up with y'all after it's done. Alright, so the more I got to thinking about putting the external speaker connection, the stereo speaker connection right next to the power supply, or the power outlet, the more I thought about that, the worse it got. So this isn't hooked up yet to anything. In fact, it's only got 2 taping screws in. I put it up so I could see kind of how it would look like, you know, how it would look whenever it was finished, and I'm happy with that. And I actually measured down an inch from this plate and traced the plate over it. So that's kind of what it would look like. Now, normally you'd want to make it look way nicer, I guess, and you know, you'd want to take some stuff, but this is probably going to be behind an entertainment system or an entertainment center that's going to have a bunch of stuff on it. It's rarely going to be moved, and on top it's going to be this big projector, you know, screen. So I'm not too worried about this little bit, you know, being a little messy, you know, this and that. I'll clean it up or touch it up later. So I'm going to go ahead and cut this out. I am cutting out the drywall with a drywall saw. You tap it in, and then you just kind of just saw and saw and saw. Again, you want to be careful, because if there's something behind this you shouldn't cut, like electricity, bad day. So catch you on the flip side. So yeah, that wasn't bad at all. This fit in there really, really nicely, and as you can see, you know, go ahead and put this on top of it. It's pretty much the exact look what I was going for, what I wanted. It's even straight. I didn't use a level, so you always want to use a level if you can help it. But you know, you put this in there, screw it down the way it's supposed to, kind of like right over there, that right there. And then you would put this on top and put that in the hole and screw that down too. Now, I'm not going to screw anything in. In fact, I'm going to take this out because there's no wires in there, and this doesn't do any good without any wires. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to unscrew this, and then I'm going to go into the master bedroom, and I'm going to show you. They share this wall, this big tall wall. I'm going to show you what you need to start doing if you want to do this in your home. Alright, so I'm in the master bedroom now, and in fact, right next to this outlet, in fact, this is that little outlet that was on the other side that I had to partially destroy. If we took that out, you could probably see through the other room. So right here, that's the 3-way box. Then down here, that's the single box, and then you've got power right here. And this is the entire wall that it shares. Now, it shares actually more of the wall, because this is I want to say it's a 9 or 10 foot ceiling, and in there it's 12-foot ceiling. So it actually, you know, it comes up and then comes over and then comes up some more. So we actually have more wall in the other room, which is why I'm going to use it for theater. So this is some of the stuff I was using. This is the stud finder. And I've already kind of found these studs. I marked them off, but this is what it should be like. You should come down, and then whenever it gets to a stud, that's that mark, it beeps, and then whenever you leave it, sometimes it'll freak out. You got to kind of take your time with it. But what I did, they're not that expensive. That's a cheap one. What I did, I marked off up here. You can see that I've got stud marks, and then and then another one right here, and that's where the fire breaks are. Fire break right here, and then about 3 feet up, another fire break, and another 3 feet up there will be another one. And I'm sure there's either one down there or not. So what I'm going to do is, and this is going to sound crazy, but say take this mark right here, okay? So this stud. I know that I need to get cables from the roof or from the attic all the way down through this thing, all the way to the gang boxes. So there's only one way to do that, and you have to kind of destroy right above that. You have to take this wall off, drill through it, pull all your cables down, and then patch this wall, fix this wall. And you have to do it for every fire break. So I'm gonna have to do it twice in here. I am going to go ahead and do one, and then I'll probably try and hold the phone up and show you how I did it. Otherwise, I'll probably link it in the video. But I'll see you in the flip. I am back, and yeah, so I didn't have fire breaks. Hopefully, you know, the image in between the videos kind of said it all. I don't have fire breaks, so I went ahead, and you can kind of see the outline of the first coat of paint and the darker area that was the drywall. Went ahead and re-spackled and repainted and just pretty much made that not a hole. Very, very messy process, and I'm now partially an apprenticing drywaller. So we're going to go in here. We're going to see exactly what has happened. I've moved some stuff around. I've actually mounted the first set of speakers. It's the left and right on the front. You can see I just kind of put a hole in the wall and mounted those to the about, I think, 5 inches from the top crown molding. And that goes through the wall and comes right down here. And I actually have my banana clip, short clip cables to the Pioneer. They're just kind of haphazardly connected. I went ahead and I mounted the outdoor speakers, and I'll show you the outdoor speakers in a minute. And I also have a kind of a temporary wire coming to the subwoofer, or going to the subwoofer rather. But what I really wanted to show you was the projector. So the projector, actually, the mount came in. I decided instead of doing a mount to the corner of that wall above the curtains, I just did a ceiling mount. And I actually ran, see if I can get up on the ladder. I actually ran last night, these two HDMI ports receptacle and a power receptacle, as well as mounted that. And it works all right, and I just kind of coiled the cables up here. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to turn this on, and we're going to see how it looks. And that wasn't hard, though, you know, I watched a ton of videos online on YouTube on how to do it, and that's how that happened. I connected to the Apple TV. It's actually using the HDMI in the ceiling, and the red mirror cable is connected over there, so it's going to come on in a second, and we're going to see, I believe the Epson logo is going to come on any minute now. Now this is in full daylight. I've got light from this door over here, very bright, and then I've also got all of that light over there. So the image is very respectable, despite the fact that all this light is in here. In fact, you can see it kind of warming up. It's got the Apple TV connected to it. It's into screensaver mode. And why that warms up, I'll explain how the setup's going to go. I went ahead and ordered the component cabinet. It's going to come in tomorrow or maybe Tuesday or Thursday. Anyway, what I have back here on the back of the Pioneer, and I'm not sure if you can see it, but it's got five. Oh, 1, 2, 3. Okay, I'm sorry, it's got 4 HDMI selections here. So you got DVD,
DVR, Blu-ray, you got separate Blu-ray, and then you've got your video 1, and they're all HDMI, and then it has one HDMI out right here. Now that's what's going to the wall, which is going to the projector, and I have the Apple TV connected to DVR, BDRN. Now it's also got a ton of standard analog video, standard, or rather component video. So that's going to be for, say, the Wii, and then these will be for Xbox, PS3. If I get a like a cable box or a satellite box, something like that, or even a computer, something like that, or an HPC or anything. Not that I would do that with the Apple TV, but all right. So this is warmed up, and as you can tell, it is pretty vibrant. It's very, very nice, and in the middle of the day. So it's got a lot of brightness. In fact, we'll get a little closer and see. You can see pixels when you get close enough, but it's not like that's the difference. You can see the pixels. I'm sure it's a lot of focus, but you really don't see a lot of distortion. Again, this is what's it called? Lens shifted. So if we were in the direct middle, this would be the direct middle based on where I'm standing. But what I've actually done is I've lens shifted it over and lens shifted it down. And I had to actually clip the image a little bit, make it a little bit smaller because it was hitting the top of those the globe on the ceiling fan. It was clipping that corner off. So this can get much, much bigger. In fact, if I drop that down another 3 or 4 inches, I could get the entire wall, or certainly a much bigger screen. What I'll do is I'll measure this, and I'll figure out exactly. I'll measure it right there. I'll figure out how big that is diagonally. But let me take a step outside real quick to kind of finish this up real quick, because again I have to still mount the rear surround left and right pretty much on this line, close to that wall over there, probably in the corner right over there, and then follow it probably right around that area. Anyway, I'll figure that out. But what I did is I actually mounted 2 monoprice outdoor speakers right here. They're white to kind of go with the trim, and they sound pretty good. Let me go see if I can turn on something and switch over the speaker. Let's see. Let me find the Apple remote, and we'll go to play some Coheed and Cambria. Now, what I have is I have the outside speakers mounted to this lower panel down here, the one that actually is mounted to the wall, and that's going to go outside, or it is going outside. The Pioneer actually has 2 separate speakers. It's got the speaker A, which is the 5.1 configuration, and then it's got speaker B, which is only a 2 configuration, so stereo left, right. And we're going to go ahead and we're going to play the second one. We're going to play Keeping Secrets. This is their Never Ender tour back in 2008. And again, this is streaming right now. It won't be streaming. I've got a Cat 6 or Ethernet rather jack right there. We're going to go ahead and just going to jump to, yeah, there we go. Okay, so that's going to play, and I'm going to switch it over to speaker A and B. So we're going to have sound in here, and while that buffers. Again, at night this thing shows up really well. You see that there's obviously some light over in that corner, and you can't really see so well the darks, but you know, we don't need to see it. I'm gonna turn the volume up a little bit so it sounds way cooler. And again, it doesn't sound bad on a 2.1 surrounds, 2.1 setup. So, but that's pretty loud. We're gonna go ahead outside. And you can still hear out here pretty nice, actually. I can't wait to have barbecues, you know? Anyway, so I'm going to roll all this into a video and throw it up online now. And if you have any questions, go ahead and
you know, ask down there. Push the button over here, over there, or subscribe, or go to my channel rather, and then I guess hit subscribe. Yeah, sweet. Oh, magnolia tree.